It's a race to 8 and sending it to the Predator press box.
Thank you, Derek Cox, and yes, a very warm welcome to you all from the fabulous Hyatt Regency at the Arc, St. Louis, Missouri. We're continuing day 2 with the winner's first round matchup of the Yalin WPA Men's World 8-Ball Championships, and this could be a very interesting matchup. Hsieh Chia Chen, top Taiwanese player, taking on the South Dakota kid Shane van Boening. This is a race to 8 winner breaks format. Our referee from Riga, Latvia, Gatis Taube. My name is Gethin Davis, and joining me in the commentating box to bring you live action is Eric Horlifson. Welcome, Eric.
Hey, pleasure to be with you. A couple pre-tournament favorites going at it here. I'm really pegging Shane to be one of the players to make it near the end. Really like his power break with this hand rack format. Feel like he knows 8-ball very well. Able to recognize the patterns. Getting past the shot clock stipulations. He's going up against a good opponent here. Current world doubles champion. Along with his partner, Woo Kun Lin.
Yeah, I saw this one come up about half an hour ago, Eric, and I was very excited about this. I too feel that Shane is such a strong 8-ball player. He should and probably is expected to go deep, but what a winner's round matchup we have. Hsieh Chia Chen, well, he's certainly been in some very good form of late.
Good square hit, 4-ball down last minute. Good spread on the rack. See the Arcos ball just twirling around there.
Yeah, he got good cue ball control as well there. Cue ball didn't really move much at all after contact. Not the best of spread from the break, you'd have to say, but certainly a good opportunity for him to attack. I would feel stripes would be his best option if he does have a look at one in the side pocket here.
Yeah, not much for solids, and the one's tied up a bit with the 6. Looks like the 9 or the 15 is available in the bottom left. Definitely on the 9 now. So just the 11 ball up there, up table, that he has to take care of. Lots of room around the middle of the table to move that way.
For any viewers joining us for the first time in this event, we do have a shot clock underway. You'll see in the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Each player does have an extension they can call in each rack, but only once. And he's played to come down for the 11.
Yeah. A little further from it than ideal. But still comfortable cue ball movement up the middle here. Misfire.
Too thin, Eric.
He might not have left something here. Shane has about 4 solids to look at. He might have something tough, like 3. Nothing easy. Undercut at.
Yeah.
Back over to Chen now.
Would have liked that to hang in the pocket just to cause Hsieh a bit of a problem, but it hasn't. but he was quite fortunate to not leave Shane with much, Eric.
Yeah, anytime you miss and the opponent has 6 balls on the table, I guess the 1 and the 6 are a little obscured, but definitely could have left him easier there. This is Shane's first match of the tournament, correct, Geffen? He had a bye into the second round?
He did. He has had a bit of time on the TV tables. Was here yesterday for the Banks event, the Bank Pool Masters, of which the semi-finals will be commencing after this match. So he's a bit used to the cloth out there, and the table is a day older now. But yeah, we haven't yet had chance to see either of their breaks as of yet until this match. It'd be interesting to see if and when Shane comes to the table where he's been breaking from in our opening match. As Hsieh takes the opener, Eric, in our opening match, Moritz Neuhausen was second ball breaking, and I was saying to our colleague Ben Francis, I don't get to see that very often.
Well, you know what's funny? I've done 2 matches so far, and Roberto Gomez was also second ball breaking, and so was Skylar Woodward. And I did the World 8-Ball Championships last year in Vietnam, and 0 players had broken second ball. So, I mean, it's, you know, as with everything, there's 2 sides to the coin. I think you see in the Predator Pro Billiards Series with the 10-ball events, players breaking from the side rail when they'd normally break from the middle to kind of jam the rack up a little more if they don't make a ball. But to me, I think you have to take the gamble making a ball, playing 8-ball, because if you do make one, the run-up possibilities are so high. Of course, the flip of that is if you don't, then your opponent is high percentage to run out. The thing about that second ball break is that you want to be looking for balls to go into the bottom pockets. If you're breaking from the side rail, you're looking for the head ball to go on the side. The middle, you're looking for the balls in the second row to go back in the side. But if you can get that second ball break working and kind of putting balls into the bottom left or the bottom right, it can be effective. But another thing to consider is that the racks are going to be so much more jammed up, and if you're trying to put together 3 and 4 racks at a time, it's tough to do that, especially under a shot clock. Those racks are so much tougher. So I don't know. It's funny that you mention it, though.
Yeah, very interesting. As you just take a look at Hsieh there, this will be a second break. Good control of the cue ball on this first break.
Huge power. This is the one I like. 3 balls down.
3 solids.
So just one more thing about the second ball there. How did Moritz do breaking second ball?
Well, it didn't work out for him, and what it did do was it didn't give his the opportunity to his opponent to run out, but it didn't work out in his favor, and he didn't change at all during the match. Yeah, I find the second ball break for me works better on the smaller tables.
I agree.
On these tables, the consistency just doesn't seem to arrive. And yeah, the thing you pointed out is if you do dry break with a full down the center break, you do leave the opportunity for your opponent to break back or run the rack. But so far, so good. He did give Shane a little look in the opening rack, but didn't leave him much by a little stroke of fortune, you'd have to say. But now he's made balls again, 3 solids on his break. Has taken stripes. And this will really get you feeling a bit more comfortable. We saw in the last match, Justin Bergman was sat in his chair for the opening 2 racks and came out of his chair to make 2 unforced errors. He was able to shake it off and won that match on the hill, but in this winner breaks format, Eric, if a player does get it working, it can make the scoreline look a bit dramatic.
Yeah, and never mind the second ball, there's been different types of breaks employed over the 3 times they've had the World 8-Ball Championships. Breaking square from the head string, from the side rail. Josh Filler won the tournament breaking from the back rail. Something for me about this power break from the side rail. That's how Shane Van Boening won the tournament in 2024. I think that's the one I would go with if I was able to hit it hard enough.
Well, Hsieh Chen has broken both times. Yeah, he's broken both times from the right-hand side of the table as we look at it, from the side. And this, our first break and run, and it's all going Hsieh's way at the moment. And with the winner breaks format, Shane will remain in his chair. Just to bring you a couple of highlights, we have 18 winners round 1 matches underway. Over on table 1, we've got the current reigning champion Albin Ushan is taking on Christopher Tevez. And on table 3, bearing in mind 1, 2, 3 and 4, we are streaming to you live on Pro Billiard TV. Table 3, Pais Labutis from Lithuania is taking on Carlo Biado. And that should be an exciting matchup. And on table 4, Tyler Steyer is taking on the very enigmatic Naoki Oi. There are quite a few other big matches going on. We've got some huge names here. And we'll look to try and bring you updates as they start coming in thick and fast. Good crowd here. They did come a big Bergman fan club, St. Louis hopeful. And it looks like quite a few of them have stayed and are now on the South Dakota kids corner. But I've got a feeling Hsieh is going to win a few fans over today.
Yeah, Bergman went through with an 8-7 win in his first match in the 8-ball, and he's down to the semifinals in the bank pool.
Yeah, he is. He takes on Fedor Gorst in his semi-final. The other one, Roberto Gomez, taking on the Scot Jason Shaw. That will be following on after this round of matches. Hsieh to break, leading 2 racks to 0.
Cross the rack this time. Big spread, but nothing down. No chance for Shane to get back in it. Yeah, I crossed it over. Not going to give as consistent results. Shane's going to take on an aggressive 3-ball combo here, opening the rack up immediately. He's got it.
Oh, and played it with just enough pace to pop the 1 ball back out. It looked like if he'd have played it a bit softer, he could have put that one into trouble. Now it's just the 2 that's a bit wrapped up next to the 9 ball there.
Yeah, if it does pass in the top right, it'll make the run out a lot easier. Looks like it has room past the 4 if he needs it. Could also go into it now. It's playing a little to the left of it, actually.
In our last match, I was having a chat with Ben Francis, our colleague, Eric, and I mentioned that when I was growing up, traditionally, we considered the Americans just so strong in the rotation game. It was a bit missed, their prowess in the 8-ball, and he bounced back with, he thinks Shane Van Bonen's one of the best 8-ball players in the world. I have to agree with him. I grew up watching him running 9-ball racks for fun.
Yeah, well, there just wasn't a World 8-Ball Championship for 10 years, but if you look at his dominance in the U.S. Open 8-ball. I mean, I believe he's won about 5 of them. Does very well on the bar table when he does rarely play the game. You know, growing up on the 7-foot in North America, it really teaches you tight patterns, so you've got to be very precise with the cue ball. And that's what 8-ball is all about.
He's just having a look at the 2 in the side pocket. That's not a bad key ball for him, if he can finish pretty much where he is now. Both pockets at the bottom of the table available for the 8-ball. Not a bad response, Eric.
Nice. Picked out a tough one on the opener. Textbook from there.
Absolutely, and that will give us our first opportunity to see the SVB break. As we just look, here he is, focused. Was looking a little bit tired at the end of the day yesterday. It was a long day for the players in the Banks event. Hopefully well rested and raring to go. And for our viewers just wondering what's coming up, if you want to just keep track of matches, fixtures, schedules, times, table numbers, please do visit ProBilliardsSeries.com, where you can get all the information. And if you were just wondering, we have 4 events running here. The Banks has already kicked off, as this is the World 8-Ball Championships right now, but tomorrow we'll have the Saberts Women's Open kicking off and the Poison Mixed Doubles event. There's going to be a lot more fun action for you, and as always we will continue to bring you 4 live stream tables free of charge. Please do like, share and subscribe. Shane van Boening for his first break in this match race to 8.
Oh, good. Seen Josh Filler and Mortz Newhausen use that style of break in the Pro Billiards Series, playing 10-ball, kind of going into the bed of the table a little bit. Can hit it with a little more power that way. It's kind of in between, going right from the middle and the side rail. Only thing there is you're not going to make the head ball as often. Well, let's see how it develops
like
here.
It looks like where the cue ball's landed for Hsieh, he really is bereft of options. He's got the stripe into the right side pocket, but it looked like it was too close to that strike ball to consider either of the solids.
Yeah, he's going to have to find a way to get back to the 11 here on the stripe run out. It has the smallest window where it's available into the right middle. I think he'd favor a breakout play over that.
And I'm looking around, Eric. There's nothing immediately jumping out of me that he could look to play off of to get into them. I'm just wondering if he has the angle now.
Yeah, off the 10 I think it's going to work. Yeah. There it is.
Oh, he's made... That probably couldn't turned out any better for the gentleman there. The 8's available, both stripes available, and has left shape quite nicely on the 15. Yeah, I was with you, Eric. It looked like there was a small window for it, but to find that window for where his other balls were positioned was just a bit stretched too far. And now finds himself in great position to extend his lead again.
This has that natural timing that a lot of Chinese Taipei players have. Reminiscent of Koping Chung.
Yeah, some very strong players from there. Did well in the teams event recently. And he's picked these off very well, especially that developing shot to open up the 11, and a well-deserved round of applause. Takes the lead to 3-1 in this race to 8, and having a little look around at the table, on the other tables, we'll try and bring you some interesting updates if and when they come up. It looks like Gregory Hogue, one of the US hopefuls, is 2-1 up on FSR, and Marco Spitsky of Germany locked at 3 apiece with Misko Fortunski. And Jason Shaw just in the lead 2-1. He's taking on Wojciech Szewczak from Poland. And the match on table 4 between Tyler Steyer and Naoki Oi has kicked off. They're at 1 apiece. Again, ProBilliardSeries.com if you want to keep the scores live. Keep that in the background on your screen.
Yeah, Sean Shevchak, that's a big matchup early on. Crossed it over again, but got a ball down this time.
Probably
Salts have separated nicely.
Yeah, this looks like one of the best breaks yet from him. Making balls much better spread. I have to say, you mentioned the Shaw match being a thriller. I'll come back to what I said before. When I saw this matchup, I really thought this would be a good test for both players. Hsieh, with the home crowd potentially a little bit against him as well, seems to just bring him out of his shell a little bit. Yeah, and as I mentioned, really good spread off the break, Eric, and every ball looking like it's got its own pocket and not too much to do here.
Yeah, he's good here. Middle of the table, wide open. No breakouts needed.
Yeah, something Ben and I were reflecting on in the last match with the winner break format. Players are not too daunted when their opponent takes a couple of frames advantage. Especially when their breaks are working. They do feel like they've got the confidence to always be in it. That belief was personified by Justin Bergman in the last match on this table. And really made, once his break was working, everything just started to come together for the man. And it looks like Hsieh's break is working wonders for him in this match.
Yeah, 2 out of 4 break-in runs now. Took advantage of Shane's dry break, so just the one mistake from Van Boening in rack number 1, and that's all it's been between them. But it's added up to a 4-1 scoreline for Chen now.
Yeah, and the difficulty when you're break and running for your opponent is they're sat in their chair with no ability to take control of the match. As we bring the stats up so far, 0 break success for Shane. He's only had 1. And Hsieh sitting at 944 in the player overall performance. So early doors, good signs for the Chinese Taipei player. And Shane will just be looking to get back to the table and start to assert a bit of dominance in this match. Otherwise, Eric, Hsieh could start to run away with this, especially with that break.
Yeah, that balls pocketed per inning number is the highest I've seen. I've seen full matches where players are under 4, and I predicted that to win the tournament you'd have to be around 6, and that's where he's at right now.
Well, Hsieh Chen back to the table. Shane sat in his chair. Hsieh leading 4 racks to 1, race to 8.
Nine ball drops last minute, and a wide open rack again.
Yeah, squeezed past the 6 into the bottom right pocket.
Thirteen's going to be the toughest stripe for Hsieh. Can't go solids if he likes. Looks like he is. Just wondering how the 4-7 are kind of next to each other. They're not available in the bottom left. But I would say likely they're available in the bottom right if he did choose solids here.
Yeah, it's a little bit
6
tricky
first
looking.
before he gets at those.
As you can see from that angle, it looks a bit tight for the 4. I'm just wondering how much he'll be able to see of the 7, but like you rightly said, if the 6 is in the way, it doesn't really matter.
I think he must be considering taking the 7 up to the top left. Just to open up the 4. If he's able to run into them here, that'll work too. Does get into them.
Very nice. Yeah, I like coming off the short rail. It just increased the chances that he would always be left on the 6. He's looking very dialed in, Eric. You have to give Hsieh that. So taking the 4 first into the side pocket. Pretty straight on the 6. Nicely done. And he's had a good look at the 3, Eric. He's chosen where he wants to put the cue ball off this 7.
Yeah, this is one of the strongest performances I've seen so far. It is the strongest for sure.
Yeah.
Shane's going to have to first wait for his chance and then come back with some offensive prowess of his own here. We are playing down to a final 32 redraw, so the loser of this match will still have a chance on the loser's side. But I believe it'd be about 3 matches to get back to the redraw for the loser of this one. The winner will have 2 chances to get into the final 32.
Well, Hsieh Chia Chen looking to avoid that possibility of coming the longer route, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do. Currently leading now 5 racks to 1 in this race to 8. And as you mentioned, with the losers round, and there is 96 players in this tournament, $300,000 US in the prize pot, and well, that's a tidy sum to be divvied around. I'm just confusing myself, Eric, for the first prize. It was 15 in the banks. I think it's 50, or is it 90?
90,000 in the 8 ball.
It's 90, yeah.
For its prize. Yeah.
That's brought the world's best here to St. Louis, and you can see the crowd in the background. If there are any viewers that are local and fancy coming down to watch some of the action live, it's free to come and watch. You can get to meet the players and maybe even get a couple of autographs. More importantly for us and our viewers at home, it's free to watch too. Hsieh to break, leading 5-1. Nothing Shane can do, sat in his chair.
Ball's going in immediately again, but the cue ball's in this time. So Shane's going to have his chance here. Kicked all the way up into the top right.
Just asking a question to Taube there. I think he was asking if he had to play forwards.
Yeah, or where the cue ball had to start. Yeah. WPA rules, behind the line, shoot a ball in front of the line. First time he's been faced with this scenario in this tournament. Just making sure.
Well, there's a couple of balls made off the break, Eric. Quite a decent spread, but Shane isn't looking immediately convinced. What's bothering him? Is it the 2 solids? No, it can't be.
Yeah, it's the 11-3 over on the right side. He's going to have to get good on the 9 at some point, or even below it onto the 11 will work here, and this is a good pattern. He's overhit it though. Look out, he's going to have to get back to that zone now off these last 3 stripes. You know, it's tough, obviously, Gethin, when you're sitting there for 30 minutes watching your opponent shoot, and you have to come up with these tight position shots. Not going to feel the same as if you're at the table for longer periods. Oh, he's misfired.
Yeah, and I think you made the key point at the right time there, Eric. When you're sat in your chair for that long, you just don't have the same feel as if you've just been running the last few racks. And you gotta think that that's contributed to that mistake. Does the 4 pass the 10? From the overhead, it looks rather tight. If it doesn't, Hsieh's going to need to do something about it. That was a pretty
care
shot.
of one problem. Yeah, perfectly played. Right on the 3. Leads him into the 5. The 4 doesn't pass the 10. He still has room up the left side. He'll take a thinner cut on the 4.
Yeah, if he does like that thinner cut, he can finish straight on the 1 and just run down through. But it then will leave that as his key ball.
Yeah, if he's drawing around the 11 here, it must go. So a chance for Chen to get closer to the finish line and back on offense immediately.
Ooh. Well,
Yeah.
he is human, Eric.
Yeah, first missed ball of the match, first failed run-out attempt. Possibly just seeing the finish line. I mean, the ball was missable regardless. It was a thin one. Had to take care of the cue ball. We'll see what Shane can do with this.
Yeah, he didn't really fancy wanting to take that on with the angle he had for the cue ball. I think he was forced into it. To come out of it okay. A long 12 here. And if he wants to start getting back into this match, this is the right time to do it. No unforced errors required. And if he can take this one, Eric, and gets a good break in the next rack, he could start to build the momentum that he really requires. Nice applause from the crowd as Shane gets 2 on the board. Now trails 5 racks to 2. Little bit of look of shock or surprise on him. But he will get the break in this winner breaks format. And just having a quick look out across the arena, we already have a result in. Jonas Suto, island boy from Ibiza in the Mediterranean, has won 8-0 on Dominic Yastrazab. That is a formidable result. He did not hang about by the looks of it, Eric.
Yeah, must have been a bunch of breaking runs in that one.
Well, it looks like Christopher Tevez is now leading Albin Ushan, the reigning champion, 4-3. The player from Peru, putting in a great performance by the looks of it. And Skylar Woodward is 5-1 up over Oliver Solnocki. Skylar having fun yesterday in the banks, and now is really looking to do some damage in this 8-ball World Championships. His fellow countryman Shane Van Boening at the table looking to do just that as well, trailing 5 racks to 2, and is making balls off the break, Eric.
Yeah, that's the one he used to win the World 8-Ball Championships when he won. He had the head ball going. Good power, kind of just powering through the rack. And if he can get that going, he's one of the most dangerous players in the field, no doubt. He'll stack a
So
ball on
far.
the right long rail. 113. Just trying to figure out that problem.
Stripes the call.
Calling the 10 here, opening up to 13 early. Ideally would like to get into the top side of the 1, just as he pointed there. Doesn't want the cue ball to end up below the breakout area.
Oh yeah.
Not ideal. Can still cut the 13 in.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't run back into the traffic and can stay above it, which he's done. Where's the cue ball going to stop? Look like a friendly bump, Eric.
Yeah, choice of 11 or 15 now. Has to consider how he's going to get back for the 8. 9 ball has to be played from a pretty tight position over on the right long rail.
So it will be the 12 ball required to get shape on the 8. And this is exactly what SVB needs to do in response to the scoreline. And after being sat in his chair for quite a bit, Eric, Shane's now had 2 good run-outs and must be feeling the arm is getting back dialed in.
Perfect on the 8.
Lovely. Lovely. And a well-deserved round of applause from the crowd. Shane Van Boening brings the scoreline back to 5-3, and it's now Shay's turn to be fixed in his chair. Shay needs to keep going with getting fortune from the break. And you mentioned, Eric, he's breaking in the last one was reminiscent of what won him that championship. Maybe it's just starting to work now.
Yeah, he did something odd that year too, where he added an extension on the back of his breaker. I don't see an extension out this year. But I think the thought was to get even more power through the rack. It's tough to swing a full cue like that with an extension. fast enough, but he has such good form that he was able to do it.
He's waiting patiently for Gatis Taube from Riga, Latvia to rack these up. Gatis, I believe, is the founder of the Latvian Pool League, or certainly a division over there.
Yeah, I think he has it back on again. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no.
I think he has the extension back on and he's using his playing cue. Weird. He does, for sure.
And this good spot, Eric. However, Hsieh is out of his chair with options.
Well, and the other thing about that too is that he used his normal break cue to start the match. Players are just doing whatever they can to try to figure out this hand rack 8-ball situation.
Yeah, indeed. It was a good topic of conversation when Neuhausen was second ball breaking. Now, you've mentioned two other players are at it. Clearly, they're all having their own efforts at working out the break. I have to say, Hsieh's been doing very well, though, compared to the earlier matches.
Yeah, I like how he's hitting them.
Ooh.
It's off the mark here. But just one last thing to add to what Shane's doing is that he's breaking with his playing tip then. Like, you would think you would want to create more power with some kind of phenolic-based tip or a harder tip with your breaker. I'd be surprised if he sticks with that strategy throughout the whole tournament, but we'll see.
Well, in Hsieh not making the combination, it has made Shane's decision a lot easier here. Stripes of the call. And this would be quite a good reprieve for him from his dry break. Didn't think he was going to be back to the table this soon.
Yeah, and in open table play, there's no one you'd rather see or have figuring out the patterns. Bit of distance here.
Well, that's the stripes from the top half of the table dealt with. 4 remaining in the bottom half of the table, and as you said, a longer 12, but not any difficulty at all.
Gonna consider taking the 11 into the left middle. So he's gonna come all the way around them, just avoiding the side pockets.
Yeah, I think he was even playing for the 11, just didn't have enough on the cue ball. Nicely navigated. Can now look to play for the 13 into the right side pocket. Well, it's not been as clean cut for Shane, but the scoreline is coming back. And this 8 to bring the scoreline back to 5-4. I'm sure the statistics will tell us that Hsieh has been having the better of play, but that will be of no concern to Shane as he makes this 8. Crowd applauding the effort. The scoreline 5-4. Shane with the break. Not been getting the better of them though, by all accounts. However, Eric, this is now starting to brew up very nicely.
Yeah, Hsieh started off real strong. 3 break-in runs in the first 5 games that he won, and a run out off Shane's. A couple mistakes in the last 2 games where could have really made a good push towards the end of the match and call it about even now with Shane breaking in rack number 10.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, Eric, indeed. Just having a little look out over the other tables. Any scorelines jumping out? Yep. Christopher Teveth is now 5-3 up on our reigning champion Albin Ushan. And Eklund Kachi is being held 2-2 with the very dangerous Hubert Lepotko. And that's turning into a bit of a thriller as well. There are some great matches out there. And following on from this winner's first round, we will move to the Bank Pool Master event. The semi-finals will be kicking off on this and table 1. There will be Roberto Gomez taking on Jason Shaw and Justin Bergman taking on Fedor Gorst. So stay tuned throughout today. Shane Van Boening to break. Now only trails 1 rack.
Went with the playing cue again. Nothing down again. Unless one slid in, he's still at the table. It did. Yeah, but you can see,
Well,
like, he's just at the table with his playing cue there. Interesting.
Yeah, that 9 doesn't pass either. Not many options for the South Dakota kid out there, Eric.
Can start with the 10 if he likes. Does want the 9 to pass to 12 ideally.
Yeah, if he takes the 10 on the cue ball's going to be running somewhere up towards that 5 ball.
Looking at going 10, 11 and into the breakout area. Or 5, 6 into the breakout. Just trying to draw that ball more.
Yeah, he's now going to have to try and do it from the 1. Well, the 4 ball is his consideration. Oh. Great position play. Does he have the angle he wanted? I think he does.
Yeah, 4 doesn't pass into the top right, so it has to be moved here.
I think he was looking at an angle of running off the long rail into the 9. If he can hit the 9 flush in the face, that wouldn't be too bad a result for him either. Oh, that's what he tried.
Still has the 4 into the top left. He knows how tough this one is, though. Match riding here. Might have to go on the side, which is even tougher. there. And a break for Chen.
Yeah, that is a break. And with Shane doing all that hard work, there's not really any traffic in the way for him. Just needs to pick the right pattern. I have to say, Eric, I did have a feeling when this match came up that this was going to be not only a tough encounter for Shane, but a great opportunity for Hsieh Chia Chen. These are the sort of challenges you want to see these players rise to. And even though it looked like he was starting to run away with it against Shane, this is turning into a real nice tough encounter and a good battle. And that will do. Should be able to play a stop shot off the 9. He's not going to let Shane take the lead, is he, Eric? Not yet.
Yeah, and only 2 games to go, and the breaking advantage back to Chen now. Put together 2 racks to open the set.
And that 8-ball, as you said, Eric, takes him 2 from the win. He's now up to 6. The score 6-4. More importantly, gets the advantage with the break back. And out on our other tables, Carlo Biado was 7-1 up on Bias Labutis. Looks like Labutis has just pulled one back. That's now moved to 7-2. Jason Shaw, 5-2 up on Wojciech Szewczak. And here's an interesting lineup. Kasper Kappa Matikainen is 7-1 up against Gangbol Gonzorich. And I have to say, I've not seen Ganho play before. Gentleman from Mongolia certainly has travelled to get here.
Yeah, good to see players from all over the world represented, part of the WPA mandate. There's representation from all national associations.
I have to say, if I ever do get the pleasure of visiting Mongolia, his local pool hall will be on my list. I'd love to play pool in Mongolia. So, Gatis, our referee, just taking a bit of extra care, wanting to ensure gets it perfect every time. Hsieh to break, leading 6 racks to 4 in this race to 8.
Free ball's the only ball that can save him. It hasn't. So another chance for Shane here.
It sounded good, Eric. It looked good, Eric. But nothing dropped.
Yeah, good square hit. Really hit it how he wanted. Shane up quickly here.
Yeah, he wanted an angle off this red 3 to create a little bit of magic down here with this cluster at the bottom right of the table. He's done that. Oh, and that's turned out very well.
Yeah, he's wide open here now. Just have to mind your
Drawback.
patterns in 8-ball. So many balls on the table that if you start getting out of line a little bit, funny things can happen.
He's just having a look at that 7. Does he want the 7 as his final ball? Or does he want to get rid of it now?
He's going to stick on it now. He still has 4-2 in back if he wants. He's kind of in between here.
It's a little bit acute. It's always going to be that for his final ball if he wants it. I have to say, Eric, neither player showing any emotion or are feeling the nerves, and this is the moment in the match where you would expect them to start to show. But both Hsieh and Shane have just looked ultra composed at the table.
Yeah, you can see the focus in his eyes there.
Really important 8-ball for Shane van Boening. Brings the scoreline back to 6-5. Prevents his opponent getting to the hill. Also, he'll have the break. And difficult to say that the advantage is maybe swinging back towards Shane. It's a bit difficult to say. Maybe the stats may tell a different story. Having a look out back across the table. Yep, Kasper Matikainen. 8-1 win over Ganbold. And Naoki Oi is leading 4-2 against Tyler Steyer over on our stream table 4. And Stefan Kasper, who's always one to watch for from Germany, always a strong performer, 4-3 up against the Finn Valtteri Vatanen. And yeah, Skylar Woodward has extended his lead over Oliver Zolnocki. 6-2 is the score there. This is the winners round 1. It's double elimination. As you mentioned, Eric, 3 extra games if you move into the losers bracket to have to get through. So both players keen to stay in the winner's side of this event. And difficult to pick anything between them here, Eric.
Yeah, I think these last 4 games are going to come down to a lot on the break. Shane cutting this one. I don't know if he was trying to. Likely if he missed it by that much. And he's got a ball down.
Yeah, they didn't look the cleanest of breaks, Eric, but the one did drop very quickly. The 4-11 is a little tricky over on the right-hand long rail.
Ideally, you'd want the cue be able to shoot the 3 and the cue ball be running into the 13 right off the bat, but I think it's running a little too far to the left of it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Only other thing you could do there is go off the 7 and then into the 4-13, but that's risky.
You feel because where the 4 is, it's got to be solids.
One, then 5 can get him back into the proper angle on the 3.
Good group of fans, young and old here. really didn't want to take that 5. He was always beelining for the 1 or the 2. Couldn't see the 2. Now he's got an angle on this 5. Will it be the right angle? If he can come around and just miss the 4. Oh, he took a chunk of the 4.
Hasn't ended up good.
Bit of a smile.
Yeah, he's forced into banking at the 2 here. He did compete in the bank shootout, so he's shot a lot of banks so far this week.
Yeah, they've certainly cut their teeth on these rails.
He's good.
Point in question. Oh, the cue ball's run on a bit. I actually thought he was pretty set to be on the red 3 next, but that cue ball just kept rolling, kept rolling. Does the 3 go into the side pocket? Clearly not.
And he can run into the 8, ideally with the cue ball off the 4. Well, he's scrambling a bit. Still alive here.
Wouldn't mind a little rub on the 7 to hold the cue ball here. He's looking a bit worried about the shot clock.
Definitely, this is where it gets tough.
Oh.
Does the 6 pass the 12? I believe it does. Or the ball on the bottom rail, the 15?
God, how'd you fancy taking this 6 on and playing that cue ball dead weight to hold for the 7 into the top left?
Had to slow roll
That's
it.
the pace.
Come back to the pocket. It is.
That was a big shot by all accounts, Eric.
Yeah, a bit of cut-induced throw at the end there. Looked like it was going to overcut, but induced back into the pocket. And he's through the rack, Gethin. Wow.
God, I think I'm feeling the nerves more than he visibly is. And that gets the biggest clap of the day so far. Hsieh has brought the scoreline back through sheer determination and some quality play against a very in-form Hsieh Chia Chen. And, well, this is now a race to 2, Eric. And you firmly would say now advantage with Hsieh, him having the break. However, if he doesn't win this rack, Hsieh will be on the hill with the break. So there could be another twist yet to come.
Yeah, Shane's used 3 different breaks in this match. He went from the bed of the table, a little bit inwards, went over all the way to the side rail and hit them square. And on the last one, was over on the side rail and cut them. He was successful in the last one, so I can expect them to do the same here. He used to break with his playing cue back in the day, like 15 years ago. And finally to the point where he just wore that cue out because he broke with it so much. I think he made a post. He said goodbye to my cue or whatever. Played with it for a long time.
We have an old school tournament as we watch Hsieh break. Oh yeah. It's 2 balls down. We have an old school tournament here in the Netherlands, Eric, and you have to break with your playing cue. And if you want to play a jump shot, you have to use your playing cue as well.
Interesting.
Now, that could be the most pivotal, or rather, pivotal break of the match for Hsieh so far. He's got a good spread. That 9 looks a little bit tricky where the 7-4 is positioned. Will that force Hsieh into a decision here?
I mean, I don't mean to go on about it too much, but this is where it gets a little awkward for me, is now he's keeping the extension on the back, and other times he took it off after the break. I don't know, just noticing little things. I'm just kind of wondering why.
That's good. Good to observe things like that and pick up on them. It's the sort of things I do like to talk with the players about after matches. We don't get to understand the internal battles and decision making that goes through these players' minds.
Yes, he
Not
took
normally.
it off now. Because he was on the,
I think
he was on the rail, probably. Yeah, just trying to keep the weight going forward when he's on the rail.
Great shot.
Good here, Gethin. Yeah.
That took the 5 not only out of trouble, it's laid it up beautifully over the top right pocket. And it's really now about Hsieh's choice of which ball he wants to use to get shape on the 8. My better judgment says get rid of the 6 now.
Yeah, it's down there by itself. Going to be very little cue ball movement in the last 3 shots if he takes the balls at the top end last. And this is a strong comeback from Van Boening. Chen did make 2 mistakes. 1 missed pocketing shot and 1 missed combo. But really, Hsieh's been flawless almost the whole match. Just got into a deficit because Chen was so aggressive at the beginning.
Yeah, Chen really put himself in such a good position in this match. Really did ask a few questions of SVB, and if you were to have joined this match 45 minutes ago, you would have been a fool to think that it would be Hsieh getting on the hill first in this match, but it looks very much like this is going to be the case, and he will retain the break. What a turnaround. Great play by SVP here.
This American crowd's going to be behind him this week, too.
Yeah, indeed. And I've got a big feeling that this crowd is going to remain here for our next match. There'll be a lot looking to support the local hopeful Justin Bergman, who will be taking on the formidable Fedor Gorst in one of our 2 Bankpool Masters semi-finals coming up after this match. The other semi-final, Roberto Gomez taking on Jason Shaw. Jason currently in action. He is 6-2 up over the difficult Polish player Wojciech Szewczak. And look at the stats there. Well, look how Hsieh has just put the numbers on the board. Balls pocketed, shot up to 5.3.
Yeah, definitely putting some racks together now. Break success up to 67%, 2/3 of the time. Those are the kind of numbers that are going to win the tournament. Chen's still got a chance here. Just waiting for his turn back at the table.
Yeah, if I was Chen right now, I wouldn't be too dismayed at all. He has played some fantastic pool. You even mentioned probably some of the most solid pool we've seen yet in this World Men's 8-Ball Championship. But it doesn't matter. It's the score that matters, Eric.
Yeah, Shane had to play real well to come back. He's got the match in his hands now. Yeah, he's going with the cut break. He's got the head ball down again. That first ball goes in so quickly, Gethin, you can't even see it sometimes. But he's making that head ball nicely.
Some strong players looking from the eaves there. Carlo Biado looking on, along with David Arcada. Got a feeling Carlo and David are going to be playing in the Poison Mixed Doubles, which kicks off tomorrow, along with the Saberts Women's Open. But they're all having a little look over the shoulders at this match. And I have to say, Eric, I don't blame them. This is, wow, up there with one of the most exciting matches of the day.
Yeah, match of the tournament so far. The 10 does pass into the bottom right. Shane's just knowing that the cue ball will have to run into the 1 or the 8, even if he does pocket it directly. So I think he's going to go into them here. He's got it open.
He has. Still needs to find a way down to it, Eric, but that was a very useful shot developing the 10.
He can use the 15, but he'll have to land directly between the 2-4.
I think that's what he's picked up on, Eric. Good spot.
Yeah, the window between the 2-4 will give him some angle on the 10 too, but he is going to go take the 15 earlier here. Try to get on it now.
Oh, that's tight.
Make the position. It is. Yeah, I think he does have it though. No, he doesn't. Gotta go combo now. Gonna have to work his way back towards the 10.
Whew. Gotta be very careful with the cue ball here.
Oh, he doesn't want that ball to go in, and it has. Wow, breakdown in the run out here for Van Boening. And he's only shot is to kick this ball in somehow. And we're likely going to the hill here.
Wow. What a turnaround. If that second ball hadn't have dropped, Shane would have had a good look at taking the match at this visit. He's made contact with the 10. Where's the cue ball? Ooh. Shane didn't even want to turn around and look back. I think he had already resigned himself to the scratch. But what a chance for Hsieh here. He's got to take this opportunity now. And we will be in for a hill thriller.
Yeah, that 13 was a decent amount ways away from the pocket, and it was a little off angle too. The first ball follows in more often when you're kind of cutting it directly at it. It's like he had to hit the center of the angle kind of to the right of the 13. But we've all done it, Gethin. I mean, those spots where you're not trying to make both and just get caught.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just felt like there was someone putting their hand over the table saying, not quite yet, Shane. We need a hill for the viewers at home and for the crowd in the background there. This is also a good test of Hsieh's composure. Can't have been easy to have been sat in your chair watching one of the world's best chip away at the lead that you'd put in so much effort to get. He would really like to come out of this match with rich rewards. Yeah. He may be able just to stun the cue ball here. No, I think he's got too much of an angle. Comes around. Looking good, Eric.
Yeah, he's good here. Just a decision whether he wants to get back for the 8 in the corner or take the 8 in the right middle. It's out in the open enough that nothing wrong with taking it in the side here.
Bounce. Ooh. Cue ball didn't take as much of a bounce as he'd hoped, and these side pockets are not forgiving. Not a problem for Hsieh Chia Chen, and we have ourselves a hill thriller showdown on table 2. And it will be Chen to break. So, how quickly the advantage could have turned.
Yeah, first hill match that we've seen on the stream, I believe.
Certainly, yeah. Indeed. It looks like
Bergman.
we have a hill over in the match between Christopher Tevez and Albin Ushan. That's 7-7. And also Marco Spitsky of Germany, 7-7 against Misko Fortunski. So it's all happening out there at the moment, Eric.
Yeah, well, I mean, fact is there's 50 real contenders out of the 96 players, even more. Really strong field. And they're starting to clash early already.
Hsieh just 5 balls behind in the total balls pocketed. He will not care about that. He will care about the fact he gets down to break in this deciding rack.
The 2 ball slides in last minute. He's got the 13 down as well, and the rack's looking decent. Looks like the 4 passes into the bottom right. If it does, I think he's going to favor solids here, and Shane knows it.
I have to say, I think that's one of the most powerful breaks he's made of the day. It did look initially like it was going to just run dry, but as you spotted, the 2 and a stripe. And even though that 4 is locked up against the 13, it goes to the bottom right.
Yeah, he can even take it last if the cue ball's moving to the... in any way where he can get on the 5 here. It's just a 5-3-6-7 finish, or a 5-3-6-4 finish. He's going to take the 5. He's there, Gethin. One last pot
I
on
know.
the 5 here.
I'm a bit scared of the commentator's curse, so I have gone a little bit quiet over here, Eric. However, this is looking as promising as it could be for the Chinese Taipei player here. And what a
Has
scalp.
slightly too much angle to hold comfortably for the 3, but he's going to try to dig into it here. He's got it.
He has. 6-4. The key shot for him here. Well, this chap has shown great resilience and good patience. Many players would have crumbled at the threat of Shane Van Boening tearing into your lead and getting to the hill first, but Hsieh stuck in there, Eric, and now there's 4 and 8 to have taken what would be for him, I'm sure, a very memorable win in this winners round 1 matchup.
Yeah, very high quality of play from both players in this match.
And there you have it, a well-earned round of applause. The home crowd, I'm sure, would have been wanting to be cheering for Shane Van Boening there, but after a valiant effort from both players and a hill thriller, Hsieh